Hello everyone, it's me, Pendragon Valimore, your dragon cyborg friend from another world. In this video today, I will talk about Final Fantasy XVI. I finished it recently with all the DLC, and now wanted to give my thought about it. I hear that a lot of people didn't really like the game or hated it. I don't really understand why. I mean, I really had fun experience playing it, I enjoy it. Even if sometimes there would intense lag and rough frame. It's rare, but it's happened time to time. And yes, there was stuff I didn't like, of course, in the game that I would cover later, but not enough to hate it. Wasn't the most amazing game, true, but still. And as always, guys, if you want to see more of my content, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to see short game talk game video, dress series stuff, or live stream, you will always find this on my channel. There is a lot of stuff there. So going back to the game, I will give you my pro and con about it and share with you my experience. Now that it's said, let's dive into the video. So, Final Fantasy XVI was a new game of the series that came out around 2023 on the PlayStation 5. The lead of the project was the one and only Yoshida, the one who saved Final Fantasy XIV for death. Since its release, I wanted to play 16, but unfortunately I didn't have a PS5, so I wasn't able to play, and I didn't want to buy a console just for one game. So finally, more than 1 year later, it's finally released on PC. Then I instantly bought it. Then I didn't regret it at all. The game takes place in a world of medieval fantasy, my favorite, where some humans cast magic called bearer, and some that cannot cast anything, which they treat bearer as slave. So basically, the normal human are racist against the magic user. And each nation have a mother crystal and possess a powerful being called Dominant, which is basically a human which have the power of the primal and can become one. By now, the blight began to consume the world of his Aether, mean life. So all life is gone at some place in the world, and trying to survive, there is war between factions. With this, a tragedy happened with Clive, which became the dominant of Ifrit. But he cannot control himself, and by mistake, he killed his brother, which was the dominant of the Phoenix, during an attempt of a coup, no, not coup d'etat, but an attempt to kill his father, the king. Well, Clive became mad, and the Phoenix too, and he tried to kill the Phoenix, without knowing it was his brother all along. So after that, he's filled with vengeance for years to come, and he went into a quest to find the killer of his brother, without knowing that it was himself all this time. Until he find out, and you know, when he find out, he tried to kill himself. So, but during that time, he also discovered that there is something more sinister coming to threat the world. To his, yeah, it's about to end it. As you can see, the series don't seem to be really happy, huh? Well, it's the case with the entire game. Mostly all is sad, grim, and dark. There is some happy and funny moments from time to time, but it's really rare. Aside from maybe the DLC Rise of Rising Tide, which it's happy. The story around it is not, but it's still more happy than the rest of the game. But still, I really liked the main story because it was dark. I'm someone who sometimes really love dark fantasy game, so it was perfect for me. It's not like my friend, which is completely the opposite. He don't really like dark thing. I think it's not that great. So, but for me, it was perfect because I like sometimes dark fantasy game. I would say though, I wasn't a big fan of most of the character and not fan of the main character, by the way. Clive, okay, look cool, he's cool, but I don't think he was that great. That's some main character more interesting than him. The same thing with Jill. I found her, I'm sorry, but I found Jill pretty boring. I don't even know if I see smile or did she smile in the game? If that's the case, not that much. Nah, I found the character really boring. I'm sorry, but I didn't like her. And I feel like a relationship with Clive, man, it's evolved so slow. It took 5 years to finally I love you. They were together for 5 years. But no, nothing happened during these 5 years. It's just like, hello. How are you doing, Clive? I'd like to be with you, but yeah. They wasn't able to say love you for 5 years. They didn't even kiss. I mean, come on. If the two people love each other after 5 years, they are together non-stop, how the hell they cannot kiss still? I don't know, I feel like it was a little slow. But anyway, to be honest, as I said earlier, I didn't like mostly all the characters in the game. Except like 4. Dion, Sid, Byron, and Torgal. But I mean, who doesn't like a big boy, huh? I mean, Torgal is so cute, he's such a good boy. The side quest at the end game was such a cute scene. He's such a great friend, he's the best friend you can have. I really liked Sid too because it was hilarious from time to time. He was saying joke mostly. He was serious and then, oh, a joke came out. That's how Sid was and I really like him like this. Byron is a little similar. You cannot have a better uncle than him. I mean, he take time to drink during a crisis and say funny stuff even if the end of the world is near. Or there is a part in the bar but basically a fight is about to start, so he rushed finishing his soup and then hide behind the counter. I mean, this guy is just funny. And then he take some bread and eat it while watching the bar fight that his nephew started. Yeah, this guy is just great. And as for Diane, the prince, I love this sense of honor. That had even broken, he tried to stay strong and fought to the end. What happened with him was quite dramatic. That doesn't mean the story about Raiden though. On the contrary, I think the all character story was most of them great. Anyway, going back to the story, I really enjoy it, and yeah, it was really great. Even some side quests had some interesting stories sometimes. Some were useless, of course, and boring. But, you know, that's mostly the case for some side quests in RPG game in general. The story was well written. And God, sometimes it was really dark. There is strong emotional moment, drama. And so much people that die in the game, it's insane. Basically, you begin to like a character, and you kill him off not long after that. Well, most of them at least. True, it seems redundant, and at some point you nearly can predict who's gonna die. Still, it doesn't make the story worse. At the same time, we are in near apocalyptic world. So I think it's normal that it's not happy, you know. I would say the most interesting part though of the story was when Odin and Ultima begin to show up a little more, and mostly cause the end of the world. The only con I would say I have in the story is about Ultima. You know, I said I didn't like most of the character of the game. Well, Ultima, I would say, wasn't great either. I saw villain really better than him, in my opinion. He was really boring. He wasn't cool. I don't know. I didn't like really Ultima. I would say Odin, in my opinion, was a better villain and he was more cooler than Ultima. I mean, a mad god wants to destroy the human race just because they think their creation are useless, or whatever the reason they think they just, yeah, it was just a test and they suck. I mean, it's a classic that a mad god wants to kill human, at least in my honest opinion. Yeah, and you know, each god, when you beat him by mortal, he's like, oh my god, I'm supposed to be invincible, I'm a god. But why you can beat me? I mean, each time a villain is a god, that's what he said. He think he's invincible and then he got beat and don't understand why. So I didn't really like him. And another thing I didn't like in the story is why there is a 5-year gap in the story. It was useless. I don't even understand what was the point of doing that. That doesn't change anything at all in the story. For real, the 5-year gap confused me more than anything else. Because they didn't really explain what happened during this year. And even if they explained it briefly, I mean, it's like in 5 years nothing really happened. So yes. But anyway, overall, nothing left to say about the story. That's mostly it. Now let's speak about the gameplay. The world is basically a semi-open world, which can travel with a chocobo. I would say though, even if it's a semi-open world, it was quite empty. There was just monsters everywhere and that's it. There were nothing really worth exploring. Aside, as I said, monster and monster hunt. That you need to hunt to have reward and stuff. But it's only reason to explore every corner of the world. But aside from that, there's nothing else. The world is empty. There is also the side quest, yes. So you explore a little for side quests, but still, it's empty. Speaking of side quests, well, at least out of them, I really appreciate them because they have interesting story. Some of them are even split in different parts that you unlock more during the advancement in the main story. I like this. For the combat was fine. I really liked the idea of having primal power. You really have a variety of how you can build Clive, and it's quite interesting. So you can try different combo and different ability, and if you don't like some, you can just take back your point and put them in another abilities. So that part for the combat, I really enjoy it. As for the battle themselves, they were quite fun, but I had trouble with evading. But it was probably a skill issue from my part. I think so, at least. And I was a little disappointed that we couldn't use other characters during combat, like Final Fantasy Rebirth, for example. I mean, in Rebirth, you can switch between characters during combat. But in XVI, no, you need to play Clive only. And the other just get hit, and they can die. But they always get hit by everything. So I feel like it was disappointing. But we have the most awesome battle in that game, and is fight against Dominant. Those fights were incredible. Especially Bahamut and Odin, even the fight with Ultima at the end. God, this fight was awesome. Playing in the middle of a fight cinematic was fun. And the visual was so beautiful. Oh, and let's not forget the awesome soundtrack they were playing during this battle. The only bad thing about it is sometimes the fight was so intense that the lag and drop frame was too much for my computer. My stream was crashing and even my computer itself. And the only thing I was able to do to fix that was to buy more memory for my computer. So the game on PC was really bad optimized. And yeah, that was suck for that. Oh, and also forgot to mention, the limited fight though was the only primal fight I disliked. It was, in my opinion, one of the worst and boring fight of the entire game. Leviathan was freaking bad. But aside from that, most of the gameplay I like it. So guys, that's pretty much all I have to say about Final Fantasy XVI. Even with the con I mentioned, I really enjoy the game. So if you like Final Fantasy and dark, drama, grim, and sad story, you definitely should try it. Advice though, you need having a decent good PC though, if you want to be able to play it without problem. If you play on console, it's fine though. Then again, there are so much better RPGs than this one though, like the Trail series. But that is just my personal opinion though. But anyway guys, for you, what was your opinion about the game? Feel free to leave a comment and tell me. Did you hate the game? Did you like it? Both? And do you think the fight with the primal was awesome? Well, feel free to leave a comment below. So that's it for me guys. And we will see each other pretty soon, either on live stream or in another video. So see you around guys. And dragons offline.